people want to be in business, but they don't know what to do for them to be in business. But business, by simple definition, it's simply solving problems for a fee, solving problems for a profit. That's what business people do. So if you find problems, that's a business. If you find people complaining, that's a business. And the moment you're able to have people pay you to solve a problem, you're already in business. And this is so true about all the areas that we're using our money. So every moment when you're giving money to someone in return for a service or a product, that person is in business. Why? Because they're answering a problem for a fee. That's business. Entrepreneurship, one of my definitions of entrepreneurship, is the art of taking money from people without people complaining. I'm going to repeat this. Entrepreneurship is the art of taking money from people without people complaining. Meaning you master the art and you develop it. And once you develop it, you're now able to take money from people without people complaining. Meaning, if you're really struggling in terms of ideas of business, one of the things that I want you to do is to simply imagine who is taking money from you. And once you understand who is taking money from you, that's when you realize that every day there are opportunities for entrepreneurship. And this is the reason why we need to continue encouraging us and the rest to be in business. And by the way, being in business is a choice. So a number of times when I speak to people about being in business, they tell you, no, it's not possible, it's hard, it's difficult. I know that. But business and being in business is a choice, meaning you can actually decide to be in business. But I'm so excited to speak to people who have made the decision that they want to be in business. And once you've made the decision that you want to be in business, then we can have a conversation around what do you need to do for you to grow a business. So I've got good news for everybody. Every great business that we know today, at one point in time was a startup. Back then, several years ago, William Lever had an idea. He started making soap. And little do you know, this was going to be the birth of Unilever. Started small. Procter & Gamble. These guys came from the United Kingdom, went to the United States, 1832. They were able to establish one of the biggest multinationals. Why? They were prepared to start. And they decided to start. And they started small. So the good news for everybody who is in business is to realize that the big business that you want to see, at one point in time, has to start small, but it has to grow through an understanding of the principles of what it takes for you to develop a business. So I want to cover 7 principles in the next few minutes, and I'm going to hope that the few minutes, which is about 45 minutes or so, is going to be enough. Why? Because we've got so much to cover. I'm going to cover some of these principles that I believe are essential in order for us to grow our business. But I'm going to start with a very interesting point. I'm not even going into the 7 principles. The first point that I need to emphasize is we're living in a time of rapid change. Nothing is constant. And if you're operating in an environment of rapid change, you cannot afford to be stagnant. You need to focus deliberately on developing yourself. Meaning the immediate challenge that I need to convey to all of us is we can't grow our businesses until we grow ourselves as individuals. I need to repeat this. You can't grow your business until you grow yourself as an individual. Why? Because your level of development as an individual speaks volumes about the level of development of your business. So the greatest investment, one of the greatest investment, is to invest in your own personal development. Why? Because the moment you develop yourself, the business cannot afford to be stagnant. Why? Because new and better ideas are coming, new and better ways of execution are coming. So invest in yourself. If you're into business, you can't be successful in business until you learn and you master the importance of investing in your personal and professional development. I'm going to give you a resource, which I'm going to offer you at a very good price at the end of this broadcast, which is on personal development. Why? Because I believe all the growth that we want in life is tied to professional and personal development. So I want to challenge all of us to invest in developing ourselves. So quickly, I want you to do an audit of how much reading you are doing. You see, this is a challenge and the tragedy of our generation. We don't want to read. Now, more than ever before, the opportunities for learning are tremendous. And when you learn, you add value to yourself. How much reading are you doing? If you don't like reading, for example, now you've got audiobooks meaning you can just listen to a good audiobook, then you upgrade yourself, you develop yourself, and you equip yourself with the necessary skills that you need for you to grow. So how much reading are you doing? How much audiobooks are you listening to? How many programs are you watching on YouTube which are connected to development? Why? Because no business grows automatically. We need to help each other. No business grows automatically. No organization grows automatically. You don't find yourself growing accidentally. Growth is a choice. Growth is a decision. You need to make a decision to say, I want to grow myself. You need to make a decision to say, I want my business to grow. But it has to start by updating the person behind the business. So, I need to encourage you, regardless of the trade that you are in, we need to develop a deliberate habit of reading. So, I'm a lawyer by profession. I went to law school 4 years. Never knew that I was going to be a public speaker. Not even a business speaker. I never knew all that. But one day, when it came to me, when it dawned to me that this is who I am, I realized that I actually had to do a lot of work in terms of investing in myself. And the more you put value on yourself, that's the more value that you also gain outside. And now one of the disciplines that I've learned is to learn daily. Learn something daily. And there's something that Solomon says, and I want to share with you this thought. This is what it says. It says, intelligent people are ready to learn. In fact, their ears are open for knowledge. And this will be found in Proverbs chapter 18, verse 15. Intelligent people are always ready to learn, and their ears are open for knowledge. Proverbs chapter 18, verse 15. And I want you to read in particular from the New Living Translation. It expresses the point. And this is the challenge that I'm encouraging all of us. So enroll for free courses on Udemy. Why? Because it's critical. So one of the things that I really wish my country is going to enforce is to encourage entrepreneurship even from primary level. You see, in advanced economies, people are learning entrepreneurship, they're learning business as far as primary school. Now, some of us will only learn when you're done with university, when you realize, okay, I can't just make a living from 8 to 5. So I believe we need to do this and also to inculcate the values in our own children so that they get to understand these principles. And we begin to have a breed and more people becoming entrepreneurs. So, what reading are you going to do? I want to challenge you a bit. Do you know when America was able to put the first person on the moon in 1969, they only used a computer with only 65 kilobytes memory size. Meaning the phone that you're holding right now, which you're using possibly to be watching this broadcast, is more powerful. Hundreds and thousands of times more powerful than that computer. Meaning we've got plenty of opportunities to learn, and I want us to grab that. Are you ready for the principles for business growth? I want to start with the first principle. The first principle is going to relate to the importance of the mindset. If we're going to grow our businesses, we need to have a growth mindset. I need to stress the importance of thinking. Why? Because Solomon has already talked about it. If you read the Bible, Solomon says, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. A number of times people just end where it's written, as a man thinks, and they say, so is he. That's not the Bible. The Bible says, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. And the word heart, if you're reading the Bible, it's referring to the mind. Meaning, as you think in your mind, so are you. Meaning, your business is a printout of your mindset. As you think in your heart, so are you. As you think in your mind, so are you. So, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So, we need to start by having the right mindset. We're living in very difficult times of COVID-19, and many people, they can't see life beyond that. We need to correct that mind. We need to stay positive. We need to stay positive, energetic, and to say we're going to make it. Take the necessary precautions. We need to have the mindset that is going to see us. So until and we learn to change our way of thinking, we can never change our lives. Because as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. As a man thinks, so is he. So I want to challenge you to start by thinking big. Yes, don't think small. Think big. So look at all the multinational corporations that you see. Interestingly, I'm just running with a simple example of Procter & Gamble. Why? They sell basic things that we need. A company that was started in the 1830s, before even the colonization of Zimbabwe, celebrating 180 years in existence. The secret is a candle maker. meets a guy who is making soap. They establish a friendship which for the next 108 years has been responsible for employing over 92,000 people. Why? The mindset, the thinking was right. And this is where I'm so pained. Why? Because the bulk of our businesses, which are started by people of my color, for one reason or another, they don't survive, usually, beyond the founder. Why? Because our thinking is wrong. We need to correct the thinking, with all due respect, of the black mind. We need to correct the thinking of a black person. Why? Because a number of times we are thinking lifestyle. Not anything wrong with lifestyle, but I think if you're still within your formative days of your business, you shouldn't be so much worried about lifestyle. Be concerned about developing a business. That's why you see a number of times when the business seems to be making a profit, we're usually quick to invest in other things which don't necessarily aid the business in growing, but usually aiding in terms of the entrepreneur's lifestyle. So the mindset is usually to sustain a lifestyle. That's why many people, if they make money, they usually want you to see that they're making money, because our mindset does not go as far as thinking big, thinking growth. And I want to challenge all of us as entrepreneurs to have the right mindset. You guys, you know very well about William Lever, how these guys started from making soap, later on diversified into other things. Why? Because the mindset, the thinking was right. And until we correct the thinking, we can't grow any sustainable business. Why are you in business? In the first place, why are you in business? So you find many people, if you want to actually go down with that and get to a why they're in business, their reasons will shock you. Why? Because people are so obsessed with trying, number one, to maintain lifestyle. Number two, because they were fired from their job, they decided to do business. Number three, because they just saw an opportunity. But your thinking has to go beyond that. Think generationally. Think intergenerationally. Something that our grandchildren are going to hold on to. And once the thinking is correct, the results are right. Once the thinking is correct, the results will be correct. But as long as we're running with a defective mindset, I don't think we'll grow. So embrace the growth mindset, where you realize that potential can grow. You are not fixed. You can develop yourself. You can stretch yourself. And once you've got the growth mindset, that's when you can actually embrace learning. So what learning are you doing? What growth are you doing? And who are the people who are in your life? That's why if you really want to sustain a growth mindset, one of the things that you really need to look into is the type of people who are surrounding you. Surround yourself with business people. Surround yourself with people who think business. Surround yourself with people who think growth. So if you study some trends in Zimbabwe, especially in the funeral industry, you see, with a number of players back then, until in 2005, some company come, we know it is Sawira Mkuru. Their secret, very simple. They came up with a disruptive strategy. They knew very well that there were people who were already in the market. But fast forward, years later, you've got one of the biggest companies in the funeral services sector. Why? Because of a growth mindset. Because of a growth mindset. A company that started in the early 2000s now is doing things. Why? Because it's not about who goes in first. It's not about who has been there the most. It's about having the right mindset and planning your way out and seeing how best you can do it. So, I want you to revise your thinking and to realize that even in the moments of crisis, even in moments of difficulties, this is where your money is. Champions see opportunities in difficulties. I give usually a common example of a gentleman called Henry Nestle, a pharmacist, who saw malnutrition amongst the babies, answered the challenge, and he came up with Cerelac. Why? He saw a problem, not just as a problem, but as an opportunity. Instead of just crying with the rest of the people, the mindset was fixed on solutions, which is why pretty much I want to challenge you to be that type of person who is not just going to sit, who is not just going to complain, who is going to take responsibility and make things happen. So don't think small. I want to run up with this principle by a statement by a lady called Ayn Rand. It's called armed with nothing. This is what it says. Throughout the centuries, there were men who took steps this in common, that the step was first. The road knew, the vision unborrowed, and the response they received, hatred. And I like what they say, despite the challenges, the men of unborrowed vision went ahead. They fought, they suffered, and they paid, but they won. This is the mindset that I want you to embrace. I want you to remember this. It's the human mind that landed the first man on the moon surface. 388,000 kilometers. Moving at a speed of 27 kilometers per second. 1969. No advanced technology. The human mind. We have got one of the most powerful resources that we need to transform our businesses. Use your mind. It's an application. Use it. You see, the brain is one of the things that's least used. And I don't know, unfortunately, why. Use your mind. God gave you the brain so that you can think. Think creatively. Think growth. Embrace the growth mindset. So principle number 1 is to have a growth mindset. And I want to take you to the next principle that you need in order for you to grow your business. And this is a simple principle called customer focus. You see, after COVID, you still need customers. So right now, you see, one of the things that we find with this period is many business models are yet to be tested. So many people right now, depending with where you are and where you're listening to me right now, some people, they are still locked up because their model of business requires them to physically be out there so that they can make money. But other people's business models allows them to make money wherever they are. That's why this is a period where the digital era is paying off many people. Why? Because you can still work even if you're not at work. You can still make money even if you're not at work. So right now, one of the things that I want you to find and I want you to seriously look at is your business model. How is it structured? Is this the model that requires you to physically interface with a customer? Is this a business model that you can only make money when the customer comes, knocks on your door, you open the door? Or there are other ways that you can still entertain, host your customer, provide the service, and ensure that you still create value in the process, create revenue. So right now, many businesses are actually in serious trouble. Why? Because number 1, numbers are not allowed to be gathering. Number 2, they depended on people going to be there physically and the customer walking in physically. So I think it's critical for us to constantly evaluate our business models. But I want to stress a bit on the issue of customer focus. If you don't have a customer, you're not in business. And if you're losing customers, you're losing business. That's why if you're a serious business person, you cannot afford the language of saying, I don't care. It's just one customer. It's not just one customer. It's everything. Sam Walton, the guy behind Walmart, one of the interesting figures when it comes to business. And I usually tell people a story which I read somewhere, where it actually said he flew from America, went to South Africa, visited Raymond Ackermans, went into Pick and Pay shops to learn how things were happening in South Africa. Later on, he went back to America with it. Then we now know Walmart as it is. And this is a global chain employing several people. But this is a guy who says something very profound. He says there is only one boss when it comes to business. And that boss is the customer. He can fire everybody from the chairman down to the cleaner by simply choosing to spend their money elsewhere. That's how powerful a customer is. They will fire you, get you out of the business by simply choosing to spend their money elsewhere. That's why businesses, our models, our staff, our people need to understand the priority of a customer. Why? Because it's the customer who gives you relevance. That's why Mahatma Gandhi says the customer is the most important person in the business. It's not a disruption. It's giving you relevance. Why? Because it's actually true. If you don't have customers in the business, you don't have a business. So what we need is to deliberately develop a customer focus. A serious customer focus, where we realize that customers are no longer just coming for products. Customers are no longer just coming for services. Customers, they don't buy chicken. They don't buy fries. Customers buy experience. Customers don't buy cars. Customers buy experience. So when you see a person buying a Rolls Royce, they're not just buying a car, because you can do A to B with another brand. But when it comes to a Rolls Royce, it's no longer just getting from A to B, it's an experience. This is what customers are concerned with. Meaning the focus of business should not just be to deliver a service. That's why if you're into business, you can't be focused on training people on customer service. You focus on developing customer experience. One research says a happy customer tells 4 people, and an unhappy customer publicity, one negative picture about your business, about the experience, can prove to be fatal for business. So we need to invest deliberately in creating an experience. Why should a person come back to your business? Even if you're into digital, why should a person visit your application? Why should a person use your application? What is the experience? What is your value proposition? What is your value innovation that you're creating for your customer? And the moment we begin to be customer focused, we begin to create value for that customer. That's why one of the things, if you're into business, you should not focus on selling what you want. Focus on selling what the customer wants. You see, this is the tragedy of many businesses, many upcoming businesses as well. You simply come up with an idea, you think it's going to be an instant hit, and you don't even do research to see what does the customer want. So many people are busy selling what they want and not selling what the customer wants to buy. So what is happening is many people are investing lots of money into setting up industries, producing things that customers don't want to buy. What is it that your customer wants? And what is it that you can do to ensure that the customer gets that? You see, now in the digital era, one of the things about customers is they want convenience. They want things done rapidly. They want an amazing experience. They want something, if they order, if you're going to say you're going to deliver A, B, C, D, you should be able to deliver A, B, C, D. If you're not going to be able to deliver, they don't want people who over-promise and under-deliver. So what is the experience? That's why one of the things you need to focus on doing if you're into business, depending on the size of your business, focus on developing a customer satisfaction index. Yes, you need a customer satisfaction index. Get to check how happy are the customers. Are they likely to recommend other people to come to the business? You see, this is the problem of many people, and I'm going to speak pretty much with believers, Christians especially. There's a problem of making the devil the problem, even if you're not even evaluating the quality of service that you're giving. And when you start losing business, when people start running away from business, you usually run to condemn the devil. And we I'm saying we need to ensure that we focus on the coming in of an iPod. Why? Because people were used to stocking up CDs, but the customer simply wanted maybe one song. They didn't want to buy the whole album. They just wanted to listen to a particular track, and it didn't make sense to buy an entire CD when you simply just wanted one track. And the iPod did that. iTunes is doing that absolutely very well. Now you can watch TV from the comfort of your homes. You guys, you know these things very well from Netflix. Why? They've been able to answer very important questions for the customer. And where did Blockbuster go? Blockbuster, instead of creating value for the clients, they created a weird model where they were making money from penalizing clients who had submitted tapes, DVDs late, until somebody realized that it's not making sense for me to pay a hefty fine. Reed Hastings and his colleague was able to create Netflix. Are you focusing on the customer? Do you know what the customer wants? Because if you don't know what the customer wants, chances are high that you're going to work hard, you're going to strategize, you're going to put in money, even to hire some facilitators, trainers on developing products that are not needed anyway by the market. So revise your model, and that's going to help you. And I'm going to take you to the principle number 3, which is to focus on innovation. Yes, innovation. You see, we're living in times that are very interesting, where change is happening rapidly. Businesses are being disrupted so rapidly. And if you're not really careful, you can be waking up out of business. I like a statement said by this guy, Richard Buckminster Fuller. He says, you do not cause change by fighting the existing reality. If you want change, create a model that renders the existing model obsolete. So you don't cause change by fighting the existing reality. To have change, to cause change, simply create a new model that renders the existing model obsolete. You see, that's why I tell people competition is not really your problem. I always tell people who are in music that piracy is not actually your problem. Create a model that renders the existing model obsolete. And this is the reality of business. If you're not developing yourself to stay in business, somebody is developing themselves to drive you out of business. Meaning you need to focus on providing innovative services, providing innovative solutions, coming up with innovative solutions to ensure that you stay ahead of your game and you grow. So look at the companies that have emerged recently. They have challenged many established sectors. Why? Because they've been innovative of radical change. The dangerous thing that you can ever do in such times is refusing to change. Yes, refusing to change. So look into history. Many of you guys, you read. We used to have Kodak. Yeah, Kodak. So Kodak was famed for films for a long period of time. But if you go down history, in the early 1970s, Kodak is actually credited with registering a patent for what was a digital camera. But you see, one of the things that we noticed about Kodak, introducing the digital camera was going to affect one of their main streams of income, which was films. So instead of introducing the digital camera, what Kodak did was simply to hide the technology on the strength that they would run with the sales. But you know what? The rest is history. The digital camera came, Kodak was in trouble because it refused to be innovative. It refused to disrupt itself. That's why right now one of the things that you need to focus on your business is how can we constantly disrupt ourselves? How can we constantly look at opportunities to disrupt the market? So now, if you go down history, you see there's so many businesses that used to make sense. Blockbuster, I've given an example. It used to make sense then, but now it doesn't make sense. No one wants to buy a DVD. You simply stream. You don't necessarily have to buy, you just watch, subscribe, then have access. Innovative products, creating convenience to your customer. Remain customer-centered as you innovate. You see, the concept of disruptive innovation is very interesting. Disruption happens when the following 3 things happen. Number 1, when the product is now available faster. Number 2, when the product is available cheaper. And when the product is available even better. That's disruption. Meaning the question you need to be asking yourself and your team is, are we making our products faster? Are we making our products better? Are we making our products cheaper? This is the question that every business leader has to be asking. How are our products operating on the market? And once you start engaging at that level and realize that you don't have the luxury of sleeping, that's when you realize you have got the role of thinking innovatively and ensuring that You either disrupt or you're going to be disrupted. Remember the quote: you don't cause change by fighting the existing reality. You cause change by creating a model which renders the existing model obsolete. Meaning, if you're not careful, someone is going to render you obsolete. Look at the story of the dinosaurs, what Charles Darwin talks about. That the species that are going to survive in times of change are the species that are adaptable to change. And business is all about change. And businesses that are hard and fast have fewer chances of survival. You can still maintain a business, but ensure that how you do it, how you create value for your clients is different. Why? Because in a competitive world, one of the things that you don't want to do is to be lagging behind. Ensure that you enjoy a competitive advantage by having innovative solutions, disruptive programs, then ensuring that you stay ahead of the game. So, principle number 3 is to stay innovative. Then, I want to take to principle number 4, which is pretty much concerned and connected with the earlier principle, is to learn to see the future. You see, if you're not seeing the future, chances are high that you're going to be creating products no one is interested in buying. I want to give a very simple example. You see, back then there was something called a Walkman. Yeah, it used to be a very interesting fashion symbol until the iPod came, until the iPad came, until the iPhone came. Now you can have all your music in your iPhone. But imagine if somebody was still holding on to a Walkman and saying we're going to produce many Walkmans, we're even going to make them cheaper. They won't be in business. Why? We need to be able to learn to see the trends in the future. What is the customer of the future going to be like? What is it that the customer wants? What is it that the customer would want to be associated with in the future? And right now, see, plenty of the opportunities that we need to learn from are the trends and the developments that are happening in the sector of technology. You see, back then we had cell phones which only had one lens. Until these guys realized, no, people want to take selfies, so it needs to have another lens. Until they realized that people are no longer just worried about selfies, they're worried about the quality of the selfie. Now, look at your phone. You'll be shocked at the number of camera lenses that you have. Why? Because these are people who are seeing the future. So be able to study the trends, observe the trends, study your industry, know very well the industry, get to pick the developments in the trends, and get to see what the customer of the future is going to need. And that is going to enable you to be able to produce the right material for that particular customer. Remember, there's nothing as disappointing as producing perfectly well something that is no customer. Very disappointing. There is no point in producing something that's not going to have any customer. Why? Because people are not focusing on studying and seeing the future. So, what is the future looking like for your business? What are the trends for the future? So I'm in the legal services besides public speaking. And right now, there is a robot called Watson. Yes, it can give you legal advice. It can draw up contracts. It can give you correct advice. Why? It has all the case law. It has all the software. Then, we have a lawyer. Someone is going to school for 4 years to learn law. How are you going to be relevant? Because the future is going to require few and even fewer lawyers. Why? Because what could be done by 20 lawyers can be done by one computer. What does the future look like in your industry? See the future. Then, I want you to challenge you to principle number 5, which is to focus on excellence. You see, one of the goals you need to set for your business is to strive to be the best in whatever sector that you do. So ensuring that your customer who is the key component in any business, your customer is going to have an experience. So, on a scale of 1 up to 6, how is excellence in your business? You see, people should not buy from you simply because they know you. People should simply buy from you because even if there are several options, your brand, your product is standing out. That's why we need to commit to excellence. You see what Colossians says, work hard and cheerfully at all you do, just as though you were working for the Lord and not merely for your masters. That would be 3 verse 23, where you're getting amazing challenge to commit to a life of excellence, which is what I want all of us to do. Commit to excellence. Why? Because people come back for an excellent experience. And I want you to realize one thing. People are not necessarily worried about the price. When someone is about to buy a product, a service, one of the key considerations is the issue of reliability. Is this product reliable? Is it reputable? But you get reliability and reputability from an excellent delivery. That's why one of the brands that I like so much is called Mercedes-Benz. They say their star emblem is a commitment and it's a promise to give you the best or nothing. Give the best or nothing. Capture and have more and more happy customers so that they can be brand ambassadors. Effectively, what grows businesses is ensuring that the people who've experienced your products, your services, can go out there and recommend your business. That's why right now, I haven't seen an advert for WhatsApp personally on any television. But WhatsApp for me, I got introduced by another person. He says, no, it's very nice, very convenient, better than text messages. Why? Excellence. And learn from WhatsApp. They are constantly improving themselves. They are constantly developing to an extent that over 1.5 billion people are on WhatsApp. A significant portion of the world's population on WhatsApp. Why? Because of excellence. Excellence is a choice. This is the reason why the Greek philosopher Aristotle says, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, it is a habit. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, it is a habit. So I want to quickly move to the next principle because I no longer have much time. The next principle, which is principle number 6, if you want to grow your business, learn to get feedback. Remember I talked about customer focus. Learn to get feedback. You see, many people, they're usually praising themselves. Hear from the customer. How was your experience? How was your shopping experience? So now you find even applications. One of my favorite applications is the Bible app. They're always asking me to rate the application. I love it so much. How is your feedback? If a person buys a product, do you send follow-up emails? If a person buys a product, do you get their contents? Do you connect with them? How useful was the product? Were you satisfied? Is there anything else that you need to change? Are you putting guarantees that if you're not happy, come back. We're happy to double. We're able to refund you. What mechanisms do you have in place to ensure that you get feedback? See, Bill Gates says your unhappy customers are very important because they are one of the most important sources of learning. And once you get to have this feedback, it helps you to improve your products, improve your services. Get to hear how things are going. So one of the things that I deliberately do when I do a show, I usually send audios everywhere. Not necessarily ask for praise, but actually get feedback. How was this? Did it really make sense? Did it really talk to you? Where do you need me to cover next time? What areas do you think you want me to cover? Why? Because nobody is perfect. That's why you need to ensure that your business gets constantly feedback from the market. How are you operating and how are you doing your things? Then allow me to quickly finish on the last principle. I'm going to run through so that we don't do another one like this, is to focus on having a growth strategy. Yes. So you want your business to grow. You need to have a growth strategy. So I did an earlier video. I wanted to watch it on my page where I was talking to FIF Namibia, where I was talking on strategic planning. You see, you can't grow in the absence of a growth strategy. What's your plan of growing? Where do you want to go? Where are you from now? And once you have established where you are, where you want to go, you need to focus on why? Because you need to take responsibility. Growth is connected to strategy. You need to have a very good strategy. Remember what Solomon teaches, Proverbs chapter 21, verse 5. He says, good planning and hard work leads to prosperity, but hasty shortcuts lead to poverty. Good planning and hard work lead to prosperity, but hasty shortcuts lead to poverty. So the tragedy of many people, they just want to work hard. That's why they'll tell you, we've been working so hard, the whole of 2019 we're working so hard, but the results are not good. Hard work alone is not going to make your business grow. What you need for your business to grow is good planning, which is good strategic planning, and hard work. Hard work is referring to relentless execution. How are you executing? How are you planning on executing? And the moment you understand that, it's going to help you, it's going to liberate you, because planning is an essential component of success. You can't grow in the absence of a plan. So I'm so happy that I've managed to finish these principles. I bet to rush through because I know you guys are very busy, but these principles are going to give you a basis upon which you can refer and reflect. So those guys who are in the United Kingdom, I've created a group for you on WhatsApp. So what I'm going to do, if you're interested, I want you to inbox the number +263 718 867 255. If you're in the UK, just say United Kingdom, then I'll be able to send you the details of the person to contact if you want to grab a copy. Because I believe if you're not growing, you're dying. Those are the two things in life. It's either going up or you're going down. It's either growing or you're dying. So I've shared some principles, some fundamental thoughts on what you need to do in order for you to grow yourself. And the next book that I'm going to recommend is called The Personal Development. No, not the personal, it's called The Keys to Effective Time Management. So one of the key components about successful business people, they respect their time. So I'm a professional speaker, I'm a lawyer, I charge per hour. My time is money. So that's why I don't want my time to be wasted. I've shared some principles on how you can maximize your time in this book, Keys to Effective Time Management. It's going to help you. And this book is called Keys to Financial Freedom. One of my favorite books on how to make money. Making money is a common sense activity. I need to repeat this. Making money is a common sense activity. And there are two things in life. It's either you're making money for someone or you're making money for yourself. And if you're not careful, you can be working hard so that someone can make more money at your expense. So this book shares some principles and some thoughts on how you can be financially free. And I share some ideas. You see why I'm so concerned about this? There's one thing that I always tell people. When you're sweating, every time if you're sweating, doing something, working, there are two things that are happening. It's either you're sweating to make yourself rich or you're sweating to make someone rich. The choice is up to you. And that's why this particular broadcast is very important in terms of empowering you with the tools and the skills that you need. And the last book that I want to recommend is a book called Keys to Academic Excellence. For all those with kids in school, I've shared some motivational thoughts that can help your children to stay focused and to stay inspired. So all those who want the books, the number I've given you, +263 718 867 255. I'll also send the number down. But it's been a great honor. Thank you so much, Bedford Assembly, and a bit of shout outs to my wonderful Mainini, Tadi and Faye. Guys, I love you so much. Wonderful praise and worshipers. And thank you so much, FIF, for taking care of these guys. I love you so much. And thank you so much to all the wonderful organizers of this broadcast. It's been really a great honor talking to you, hoping that we can do this once again and find ways of growing our businesses. There is never an end to learning. That's why Baba Good says, if you don't want to learn, you have to die. Learning is a hallmark of the living. And if you don't want to learn, you don't deserve to live. So what are you going to do? What are you going to learn? The challenge is now up to you. Thank you so much for spending time, and may God bless you.
Follow them and help build Zimbabwe brand on a positive note. When you think of reaching the ever-growing internet audience with your video adverts, think SlyMedia TV Online. If you want to pre-package TV programs, documentaries, weddings and church services, think SlyMedia Productions, building bridges. Your TV on the go, anytime, anywhere, worldwide.